All right. Hello, everyone. We are talking about the circulatory system this week and next week. And so just wanted to give you all a brief overview of some of the main components that you're going to be seeing in your reading this week. We have a couple different lessons we're reading in our textbook. And then next week, some more activities. We're going to be doing some stuff from Khan Academy. We're going to go back to Gizmo and do hopefully another virtual lab like we did with the digestive system. And so hopefully that was fun. I heard some good feedback on that. And we're going to try to revisit that and see how that goes. But as far as the circulatory system is concerned, the anatomy of the heart, we'll just kind of talk a little bit about this. Don't feel like you have to write all this stuff down. Maybe you can take a few notes. Again, a lot of it's reinforced in your book. So if you're doing the reading there, then you have it reinforced. But feel free to take some notes if you need or want to. But just do make sure at the very least you are paying attention. And because it's on video, you'll be able to, to catch it again if you need. But the human heart obviously is a muscular pump composed of cardiac muscle that allows for a continued contraction, a rhythmic contraction. It's an involuntary muscle, obviously, so meaning you don't control that. It doesn't need to be told to contract, so to speak. It's located in the middle of your chest, right behind your sternum, and just to the left there, and about the size of your fist. And so we see here this diagram, there are 4 chambers in the heart, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. So you see here the right chambers, the left chambers, the right atrium, the left atrium. So atrium being singular, atria being plural, of course, 2 there. So the right and the left atrium, and then the right and the left ventricle. Obviously, that is not right and left as we're looking at it right now, but from your perspective, your heart is your right and your left, kind of like that. And so the heart, very much like the stomach, has protective layers. The heart, a very important critical organ, obviously, is encased in 2 protective layers, the outer layer and the pericardial layer, or sac, excuse me, which essentially covers the heart. The atria, as I mentioned, singular atrium, plural atria, they are responsible for receiving blood from the veins that are leading to the heart, and when they contract, they pump blood into the ventricles. The ventricles are really the powerhouse. They must force the blood away from the heart with enough power to push that blood as it circulates to the body and to come back and circulate back to the heart. Between the atria and the ventricles are what we call valves. These are overlapping layers of tissue that allow blood to flow in only one direction. And so just a quick side view and top view here. You see an example of the valve, or a valve right there, another one right here, another one right here. These overlapping tissues, as I said earlier, allowing that blood to flow in one direction, basically keeping that progress, that forward, so to speak, motion moving. All right, so here we kind of just talk a little bit about the specific kind of valves. You may see a little bit of this in your book, but I won't get too technical with us, but we do want to take note. The tricuspid valve, excuse me, between the right atrium and the right ventricle, the pulmonary or pulmonic valve, the mitral valve, and the aortic valve. So I do believe not the work today, but Friday, you will be drawing a picture or illustrating the heart, doing a sketch of it, and labeling certain components of it and their functions. And so this may come into handy, or maybe handy for you soon. So what is the circulatory system? Obviously, it's responsible for that blood transport, right? It's composed of the heart, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, lymph, and the blood. It's a combination of vessels and muscle that help and control the flow of blood around and through your body. known as circulation, hence the circulatory system. Okay. And the main parts of the circulatory system, of course, being the heart, arteries, which are within the heart, veins, and capillaries. So let's talk a little bit about blood for a moment. What is blood made of? It's a mixture of cells and a watery liquid we call plasma. You'll see that in your reading today, that the cells float in. Plasma is about 90% water. You'll see that on page 540. 540 there. Blood plasma, basically, it's like a straw colored or a light colored liquid. Blood proteins perform many functions in the plasma, including maintaining blood volume, clotting, transporting substances, and immunity. The water, minerals, vitamins, and nutrients in the plasma are absorbed from the digestive organ. So I just wanted to read a couple sentences there from your text so you kind of see the connection there. But blood is that mixture of cells and watery liquid or plasma. There are three kinds of cells in the blood. The primary ones being red blood cells. You have white blood cells, obviously, which fight for you. Your immune system really comes into play there. And platelets. Red blood cells carry oxygen from the lungs throughout the body. As I said, the white blood cells to help fight off infection and diseases. And then clotting is where the platelets come into play. Get that? Platelets play. Okay, sorry. All right, so red blood cells are the most numerous, as I said, 40 to 45% of your blood, and they give it its color, right? Red blood cells are shaped like tiny donuts here. I kind of put a couple examples up there, or really that's my phone. Put an example there twice, but you kind of see that shape there, an indentation there in the center. And so those red blood cells obviously give our blood its color. Now, when we talk about red blood cells and blood specifically, we have to talk about hemoglobin. Okay, so hemoglobin is a special molecule that carries the oxygen that is found in the blood. So it kind of transports that oxygen for us. Where there is an excess or sufficient oxygen in the lungs, the hemoglobin molecules will loosely bind with the oxygen. And each molecule of hemoglobin contains 4 atoms, specifically 4 iron atoms. Each iron atom can bind with 1 molecule of oxygen. And I tell you that because that helps us to know that each hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 molecules of oxygen. So that's how we're getting oxygen transported throughout the circulatory system and throughout our body. And that plays into the type of, or your blood type. 4 different types of blood. You've heard people say type A, type B, type AB, or type O. And so red blood cells that have only A molecules on it, that blood is type A. Red blood cells that only have B molecules, type B, have both A and B is AB, and those that have neither A nor B are considered type O. So just kind of wanted to throw out some of the main points and thoughts and principles, ideas, definitions that you're going to see today in your reading, Friday in the next lesson, and then going into next week, we'll talk more about this. But doing those virtual labs and some Khan Academy activities, like I said, you'll start seeing more of this reinforced. So hopefully this kind of just gave us a brief overview. I know the text gives us a lot of technical terms, so I wanted to include some of those in there. I didn't include all of them, so make sure you're doing that reading on your own as well. If you need anything, please shout out, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk with you guys soon and hope you are continuing to do well. Thank you.